Folks, growing up, I had your typical strict Asian parent. They were always telling me how much easier I have it than they did. Take my dad, Zimu. When I was a child, I had to choose between hard labor and starvation. I'm like great dad, because when I was a child, I had to choose between good grades and starvation. I remember one time in elementary school, they caught me doing my friend's homework for them. They called my parents. My dad was furious. Oh, what you mean you only make C for your friends? Why not A? He likes to remind me of how much more freedom we have here in the US than back in China. When your mom and I live in China, we force have one child. Here in the US, you have freedom. You can choose to have no kids. Really, my dad, he's very old school. You know, he's Confucian, which basically means, you know, he's the head of the house. Everyone has to do what he says. Basically, my dad's a Republican. And I think his political leanings have rubbed off on me. I recently got naturalized as a U.S. citizen, and you know, ever since then, I've had other immigrants come asking me for advice, and I'm happy to help. So I always advise them to stop taking our job to go back to your country. I did that joke once, and I had a white friend come up to me afterwards. He was like, "Hey man, how come I can't do racial humor? You do Asian jokes all the time. Black people say the N-word all the time. Why can't white people?" I'm like, "Look, don't take it personally. It's not that we think you're racist. We're just not sure, okay?" You know, when minorities do racial humor, we know we're kidding. When white people do it, we get flashbacks. And I don't understand the sentiment, because in comedy, you're not supposed to make fun of people who are weaker than you. So when we say white people shouldn't do racial humor, that's a compliment. It means society thinks you're a real person. Unless you're poor. But you know, in spite of this, I see a lot of, you know, TV shows, movies, and even other comedians making fun of Asians. I'm not trying to say that Asians have it the worst or that we have it worse than black people. But at least black people get to look cool, okay? All right, they got Halle Berry, they got Denzel, they got Kobe. We have Gangnam Style. Like, the easiest way for an Asian to make it into Hollywood is to be adopted by Angelina Jolie. Yeah, she adopted an Asian baby. And now they're making a movie about him, except I bet they're gonna cast a white dude. It's like coming in theaters in 2017, The Last Adopted Asian, starring Tom Cruise. And you know, people say to me, you know, racism is dead. But I think racists have just become more subtle. Like, they'll wait until all the minorities are gone before they start talking about those people. Because if you burn a cross in a forest and there are no minorities around, is that still racist? And I was in a car with this white person, and he just casually mentions to me, he's like, "Zimu, I hate niggers. I'm not even being racist when I say that, because I'm referring to thugs and criminals, not law-abiding citizens." And I wasn't sure if I should be offended because he just assumed I'd agree with him, or flattered because he was treating me like a white person. Like, I knew white people preferred Asians, but I didn't know they liked us that much. Like, does this mean we're one of the master races now? Should I be expecting a white hoodie in the mail? I'm gonna go home, start watching Fox News. Call myself a KKKsian. All right, thank you guys. My name is Amia. You guys are great.